David, a mild-mannered office worker, led a relatively ordinary life, but his tranquil existence was about to be shattered by a series of inexplicable phone calls that would unravel his sanity. It began innocuously, with the phone ringing at odd hours, awakening David from his sleep. He would groggily answer, only to be met with silence on the other end. Initially dismissing it as wrong numbers or telemarketers, he thought little of the strange occurrences. As days turned into weeks, the frequency of these calls increased. David's unease grew with each silent conversation, leaving him feeling unsettled and vulnerable. David, whispering to himself, who could be calling me without saying a word? Is someone playing a sick joke on me? The unknown caller's persistence began to take its toll on David's mental state. Sleep became elusive as he dreaded the ringing of the phone, fearing another haunting call. He became consumed by paranoia, suspecting everyone around him, even friends and family, of being behind the tormenting calls. The once welcoming sound of a ringing phone now invoked dread in his heart. He became obsessed with tracing the origin of the calls, spending countless hours researching techniques to track unidentified numbers and seeking advice from tech-savvy friends. David, frustrated, I need to find out who's behind this. I can't let them keep tormenting me. As David delved deeper into his investigation, he discovered that the calls were originating from untraceable sources, adding to his frustration and escalating his sense of powerlessness. Each unanswered call became a reminder of his deteriorating mental state. Isolation became his refuge as he withdrew from social interactions, mistrustful of anyone who crossed his path. The haunting calls infiltrated his thoughts, invading every corner of his mind, leaving him teetering on the edge of madness. The lack of answers began to consume David, fueling his desperation for resolution. He sought solace in support groups, connecting with others who had experienced similar psychological torment. Their shared stories gave him a glimmer of hope and the strength to continue his fight against the invisible adversary. As the haunting calls persisted, David's grasp on reality slipped further. He experienced hallucinations, hearing phantom rings even when the phone remained silent. Shadows seemed to move in the corner of his vision, and whispers echoed in his ears, driving him to the brink of psychological collapse. David, desperate, make it stop. Who are you? Why won't you leave me alone? Finally, when he had almost surrendered to the abyss of despair, a breakthrough came. Through a chance encounter with a former telecommunications expert, he discovered a dormant virus hiding in his smartphone that had allowed someone to hijack his device and make the voiceless calls. Armed with this knowledge, David purged his phone of the malicious code, reclaiming a semblance of control over his life. The haunting calls ceased, and a newfound sense of relief washed over him. Amelia, a vibrant and independent woman, had always felt at ease in her cozy bedroom. But one fateful evening, as she prepared for bed, an unnerving sight awaited her in the reflection of her bedroom mirror. Amelia stood before the mirror, brushing her hair with a sense of tranquility. As her gaze met the reflection, she noticed a subtle movement behind her, something that sent a chill down her spine. Turning around, she found nothing out of the ordinary. Amelia, whispering to herself, did I imagine it? Maybe it's just my imagination playing tricks on me. Trying to dismiss her unease, Amelia returned her attention to the mirror. To her horror, the movement repeated itself, this time more distinct and unsettling. A figure, hazy and indiscernible, seemed to materialize within the depths of the mirror. Amelia's heart raced, her breath caught in her throat. Fear tightened its grip as she watched the figure mimic her own movements, yet with an eerie distortion. Panic surged through her veins, urging her to escape the room, but curiosity rooted her to the spot. Amelia, trembling, who or what are you? The figure in the mirror seemed to grow bolder, inching closer to the reflective surface. Its movements became more frantic, contorted in an unnatural manner that defied comprehension. Amelia's fear transformed into sheer terror as she realized the presence before her was not of this world. Driven by a mix of curiosity and terror, Amelia sought answers. She delved into research, consulting ancient texts and seeking the wisdom of paranormal experts. Her quest led her to a long-forgotten ritual that could potentially reveal the truth behind the mirror's malevolent entity. Amelia, determined, I won't let this presence torment me. I will confront it and find a way to banish it from my life. With cautious steps and trembling hands, Amelia performed the ritual, reciting incantations and invoking protective energies. The room filled with an ethereal aura as she stood before the mirror, facing the entity that haunted her reflection. A surge of power coursed through Amelia as the mirror trembled, cracks spider webbing across its surface. The entity writhed and convulsed, its grip on the mirrored world weakening. Amelia, defiant, leave this place. Return to where you belong. With a final burst of energy, the mirror shattered, freeing Amelia from its grip. The malevolent presence dissipated, its hold over her life vanishing into the ether. Amelia stood amidst the broken fragments, a mix of relief and exhaustion washing over her. She had conquered the horrors that lurked within the mirror, reclaiming her sanctuary and restoring a sense of peace to her bedroom. A team of seasoned explorers, driven by their thirst for adventure, embarked on a daring expedition into the uncharted depths of a remote cave system. Armed with their gear and fueled by curiosity, they descended into the heart of darkness, unaware of the mysteries that awaited them. Among the group were Sarah, the fearless leader with a keen eye for discoveries; Mark, the experienced spelunker who navigated treacherous terrains; and Emily, a skilled biologist with a passion for studying unique organisms. As they ventured deeper into the cavernous expanse, their headlamps pierced through the gloom, revealing an intricate network of stalactites and stalagmites. The air grew damp and heavy, echoing with the sounds of dripping water and their own hushed footsteps. Sarah, whispering, stay alert, everyone. We don't know what we might encounter down here. Their caution was warranted, for as they ventured deeper, they stumbled upon a sight that defied all expectations. The walls of the cave seemed to pulsate with an ethereal glow, casting an otherworldly light that danced across the rocky formations. Emily, astonished. I've never seen anything like this before. It's as if the cave itself is alive. Mark, cautious. Keep your guard up. We don't know the nature of these luminous formations. As they cautiously continued their exploration, the glow intensified, revealing the presence of small, mysterious organisms that emitted a soft luminescence. These creatures, previously unknown to science, flitted through the air with graceful movements, their radiant presence captivating the team. Sarah, awestruck, they're beautiful, but we need to remember our purpose. We must document and study them carefully. The team observed the creatures with a mix of fascination and trepidation. Their bioluminescent glow illuminated the cavern, casting enchanting shadows on the walls. Emily, excited, this discovery could reshape our understanding of subterranean ecosystems. We must be meticulous in our observations. As the explorers documented their findings, they couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. The luminescent organisms seemed to possess an intelligence of their own, their movements coordinated and purposeful. Mark, whispering, do you feel that? It's as if they're watching us, studying us in return. Sarah, thoughtful, there's an eerie beauty to this place, but we must stay cautious. We still have much to uncover. The deeper they ventured, the more intricate and elaborate the luminescent organisms became. The cave's walls were adorned with a mesmerizing display of shifting lights and intricate patterns, an otherworldly spectacle that left the team in awe. However, an undercurrent of danger tinged their excitement. The organisms seemed possessive of their territory, reacting with hostility when the explorers ventured too close. It became clear that their presence in the cave was tolerated only up to a point. Sarah, determined. We've pushed the boundaries of our understanding, but we must respect the delicate balance of this ecosystem. It's time to retreat. Reluctantly, the team made their way back, leaving behind the enigmatic cave of shadows. Their minds filled with questions and their notebooks brimming with data. They emerged from the depths with a newfound appreciation for the mysteries that lay hidden beneath the surface. On a gloomy evening, passengers boarded bus No. 13, unaware of the dark fate that awaited them on their seemingly ordinary commute. Little did they know that within the confines of this bus, a web of haunting tales would intertwine, leaving them forever changed. Among the passengers were Emma, a young artist seeking inspiration, James, a weary businessman burdened by regrets, and Olivia, a retired school teacher longing for solace. As the bus embarked on its journey, the passengers settled into their seats, their lives veering towards an inexorable collision. It began innocuously, with mundane conversations and fleeting smiles, but an undercurrent of unease lingered in the air. Emma glanced out the window, her thoughts drifting to the painting she was struggling to complete. The bus rattled along the darkened streets, seemingly oblivious to the stories that weighed on each passenger's heart. Suddenly, the bus screeched to a halt, jolting the occupants in their seats. Confusion filled the air as the driver announced a mechanical issue that required a brief stop. Little did they know, this would be the catalyst for the fateful unveiling of their haunting tales. Emma's attention was drawn to a middle-aged man named Thomas, whose eyes were filled with sorrow. Sensing a tale waiting to be told, she mustered the courage to strike up a conversation. Emma, curious, is everything all right? You seem troubled. Thomas, with a heavy sigh, I carry a secret burden, a mistake that has haunted me for years. It's a story I've long kept hidden, but perhaps it's time to share. As the bus resumed its journey, Thomas recounted his tale, a heart-wrenching account of lost love and shattered dreams. The passengers listened in silence, their own struggles finding resonance in his words. James, the weary businessman, found solace in Thomas' story, realizing that his own regrets were not insurmountable. Inspired, he mustered the strength to confront the demons that had plagued him for far too long. Olivia, the retired school teacher, found herself moved by the shared vulnerability of her fellow passengers. She opened up about the tragic loss of a former student and the grief that had consumed her since. Each stop along the bus route revealed a new passenger with their own tale of sorrow, regret, or unfulfilled desires. There inside, the bus grew heavy with the weight of their collective pain. As the bus reached its final destination, a crescendo of emotions filled the air. The passengers had bared their souls, finding solace and support in their shared journey. It was a transformative experience, connecting them in ways they could never have anticipated. Emma, teary-eyed, thank you all for sharing your stories. We've carried these burdens alone for far too long. In that moment of shared vulnerability, the curse that had bound them together was broken. They stepped off the bus, their hearts a little lighter, their spirits rekindled with newfound hope.